y'all. Welcome to the Talkoffame podcast. I hope everyone is enjoying their day, whatever they're listening. And today we have Raeanne Boon joining us for today's episode. Raeanne Boon is an actress best known for her role as Dawn in Paramount Plus and Netflix's young adult drama School Spirits. She also stars in the YAP TV series College Girls, Netflix's hit series Firefly Lane and FX Hulu's A Teacher. Thank you, Rayanne, for joining us today to talk about the amazing roles you're done. I really appreciate you coming on, taking the time. I love everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, as someone who loves School Spirits and Firefly Lane, those are two shows that I absolutely love. Anything on Netflix, I absolutely love, honestly. But, as someone who loves School Spirits, like, what kind of drew you to that role that you played?
Yeah. Well, when I first got the audition, I just felt like so drawn to the scripts. The scripts were so well written. Nate and Megan like knocked it out of the park with the scripts. And it was one of the first times in my career where I read something and I was like, I need to be on this show no
Mhm.
matter what. Like, whatever I do, whatever the part is, I need to be on this series. And I'm glad that it worked out for me because the show is just incredibly well written.
It definitely is. Like, did you get like the script handed to you, or did you kind of like just get the character description and kind of with the flow, for example?
Yeah, well, it started with just my first scene from the pilot episode. That's the only scene I got where she's like sitting on the lockers talking to Maddie. And that's the only context I had for Dawn at all. And then as I was going through the audition process, I got some other scenes from later episodes. And we were trying to piece together the story because all of us, Peyton and Christian included, none of us had the scripts until we were filming them. So none of
Oh,
us knew who killed Maddie or what happened. So we were all learning in real time as well what the mysteries were. So it was really fun to discover, and we all had different theories on what happened and what's going on. So yeah, we just kept learning as we went.
oh wow. Like, I'm so surprised since I know with many actors for different shows or movies, they usually get the full-on scripts when they audition, not when they're filming the actual TV show or movie. So like it's really interesting to see like what's going on as time goes on with you filming rather than just get the full-on script when you're auditioning, which is well, it's kind of like a make or break situation when you're dealing with that. Even if you don't get the role, you're like, okay, well, I know what happens now. Like, it doesn't matter if I get the script or not. When I watch it, I just know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we just really had to trust our instincts as we moved forward through filming the scripts. And I remember when I got the script for episode 7, I was just like ugly cried in my car when I was reading it because I was like, oh, it just broke my heart that Dawn went through everything she went through. And I, yeah, discovered it for the first time reading the script right before we filmed it.
Yeah, it's honestly great to just read it before you are filming it because like you're just like you're dealing with the emotions right before you're filming rather than reading it much before and then forgetting about it and revisiting that. It's like basically kind of like a rereading one and done rather than having to deal
Yeah.
with that much on. And
Yeah.
without emotions, like was that a scene that really affected you the most, or was there a different scene that, stuck out to you the most? I know with a lot of actors in TV series have different emotions to different series or scenes that affect them the most. Like what scene kind of, affected you a lot?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like a highlight scene for me was doing the seance. And when we went back in time to Dawn's death in the 70s, that one just like the writing was so well and the story is so heartbreaking that it made my job really easy. Like I didn't have to work very hard to hit those emotions because I felt it. And the pain I felt for Dawn really just came out when we were filming that seance. And then I really surprised myself with that last scene with Peyton right before Dawn crosses over. And Peyton improvised the line, "You're a good friend." That wasn't in the script. And we decided, when we were filming it, we think that that's what Dawn really needed to hear. So it was a really beautiful moment that just unlocked a lot of emotion for me as an actor.
Oh, 100%. I don't know why, but that's like once I hear like that sort of thing, when whether it's in real life or on movies, I just literally break into pieces when someone says that when they're going through a hard time or on a deathbed or something. Like when you're saying that in your final moments or something, I'm just like dreading to tears. Like, oh my, even if it's improvised or not, you have to break into tears at some point.
Mhm. Yeah, people tell me all the time that they cried watching Dawn crossover. Like people
Oh,
message me
really?
all the time saying that. Yeah.
Like I seen that clip like the last couple of days I seen it. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm dead. Like this can't be happening. It was so sad, but also just a beautiful moment at the same time. That has to be
Yeah.
one most heartbreaking things that I seen in a TV show is I to see someone cross over. I'm just like, oh my God, this can't be happening. Since it's like some people's favorite characters, you're just like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do with the show now since my favorite character is gone? Like, what's going to happen
Yeah.
now after the series?
Yeah.
But did you expect your character to make kind of a such impact on a show, or did you kind of expect to see this filming a TV show, but did like not as much impact?
No, I really was coming in blind, honestly, to the show, and I thought Dawn was just going to be like the kooky, funny, quirky, like side character. And as the show developed, I was like, holy crap, like she's got so much going on, and there's so much depth to this character, and she really evolved throughout the first season. And Hannah, our director for our last two episodes, she really wanted to work on like stripping down the characters to their just like their truest, rawest form. And I think that really shows in the last two episodes, not just for Dawn, but for everyone, that we're all like silly and heightened. And then we come down to just be honest humans at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the most important thing because when you narrow down those two episodes, like you just realize, like, okay, what should I do with this character? Even though, like, the character might not be as the main role as some other characters might be, especially maybe it's the last two episodes of the season, you're just like, we need at least make a character stand out so the people that are watching the show can keep watching and also make the character spotlight even more during filming.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
like how do you think like your character progress as the show goes on? I know this kind of relates to the last question, but how do you think your character kind of, progress as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think meeting Maddie was a pivotal moment in Dawn's life. Like she
Mhm.
spent the last 50 years being the exact same. Nothing changed with her. And she just was this outsider and she never connected with anyone. She didn't have any friends. She didn't have any friends in her life. She didn't have any friends in her death either. And Maddie coming into Split River and coming into the afterlife really set in motion everything changing for Dawn. And I think Dawn really finally felt like someone understood her and cared about what she had to say. And the friendship between the two of them growing and developing is really the biggest change that Dawn faces in the series, and ultimately is the thing that she needed to cross over to the other side and find
Mhm.
peace in her life.
I love that. Like, I know when people that grow up not having friends, they just want to have that one specific friend to have when you're trying to pass over. To be so that's when people are looking for friends, that is one thing they want to do before they pass over is to have someone and to watch those moments progress over the season. It's like, oh my gosh, she actually has someone to be friends with rather than not having someone there for her during her final moments is really something that I know a lot of people that stuck out to a lot of people during her final moments is watching her at least have someone by her side and actually have a bond with someone that she didn't have over the years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But do you think you and your character are alike in real life?
I do. I think people would probably say I'm not like Dawn, but I think Dawn is just an extension of myself. Every character I play is just an extension of me in some capacity. And Dawn's no different. Dawn carries, the weight of a 16-year-old Raeanne. And that's who Dawn is. And me and her are the same in everything. So yeah. And I think good casting is casting people who are like their characters. I think everyone in School Spirits is like their characters in some capacity. And that's what makes the show so great, is we all just bring our own human nature and our own selves to the parts.
Yeah, because I know with every character someone plays, there's always a way people are kind of similarity with their characters, whether it's personality, looks, or whatever. Like there's always similarities, which even if it's really none that you really notice, there's always something that relates, even if the casting directors see it, but you don't. That's the best part about casting is that like they see things in you that you don't generally see
For
oftentimes.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
But if you could switch characters in the show, what would you choose?
Yeah, well, it's actually a fun fact is I actually auditioned to be Rhonda first.
Oh, really?
So when I first got the script for School Spirits, I got the Rhonda scenes and I read for Rhonda and I just felt so drawn to that character. And obviously me and Sarah would play it very differently. She does a fabulous job as Rhonda. She knocks it out of the park. And I had a very different approach to the character of Rhonda, but I think that's who I'd want to play, just given the fact that that's kind of my intro into the world of School Spirits started with Rhonda.
Yeah, it's a great off, even though you really audition for someone else. Oftentimes, when someone auditions for a different character, they're oftentimes get a different character based off of what they're most alike. But how does it like? How did you kind of get into the character you are now rather than Rhonda, like the one you auditioned for?
Yeah, well, when I got the audition for Dawn in the breakdown, it said they wanted her to be like Moaning Myrtle from Harry Potter. And I'd never seen Harry Potter, so I just kind of just pretended like I just felt like she needed to do something weird. So I did a weird voice with Dawn and I kind of did this spacey thing and I've got big eyes naturally and I kind of just like went with it and just kind of created this really weird character because especially in that first scene when she's like spaced out staring at the light, I just felt like there's something weird going on here. I gotta work with. So it was like a complete 180 than my Rhonda character was.
And as someone who hasn't seen Harry Potter either, I would just use my imagination just so I can just go with the flow, honestly. I'll honestly do the same thing as you. I'll be like, I've never seen Harry Potter. No, don't worry, Harry Potter fans, if you're listening, no hate towards Harry Potter, trust me. But I never seen the movies at all or the books. But honestly, if I was in your position, I would just use my imagination for that, honestly. But to wrap this up, like how do you have like any projects coming out anytime soon?
I do, yeah. I have a very exciting Netflix show I'm working on right now. I can't say a lot about it because it's super, super top secret, but it's a very popular Netflix show I'm going to jump on the cast for. And I'm really excited for when I get to announce it to everyone because I think everyone's going to freak out when I talk about it.
Now you're getting me nervous now. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see now. I have a feeling what's going to be, but I'd rather not take a guess at the moment. But I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time today to talk with us about School Spirits. It's definitely a great show, and if you haven't seen it, I totally recommend watching it. It's definitely worth your time and energy if you're looking for a new show to watch. But I really appreciate you coming on and joining us today and taking a time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.